StrayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you're expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get to use those personal initiative. What is that, Dre? That is a go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is, we are moving into part 8 of our ongoing series of how to be a wolf. Before we get started, I'll remind you of two things. First of all, my daily motivation, Monday motivation messages, guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your week or your day, respectively. All you got to do to receive these is be part of my texting community. It is free to join. So text me at my number, 305-384-6894. Once we start sending those messages out again, you'll be getting them straight to your phone. Again, send me a text at that number. Is down in the description as well. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. How would you like to take all the goals that you have and actually start reaching them now instead of later? How would you like to access all of the best courses and trainings and frameworks around the things that you hear me talk about here on this show in their deepest depth that I go and get that training straight from me? How would you like to get on live coaching calls directly with me multiple times per month and be able to ask me questions, share your challenges with me, and have me walk you through step by step from where you are to where you are looking to go? All that happens when you're a member of the university. That is Work on Your Game University, where we focus on mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com for details. That out the way, let's pick up where we left off, which is point number 22 on how to be a wolf. Number 22, know when to rest. We talk about guarding your energy earlier in this series. Wolves have to guard their energy. And all those points apply to this, as well as wolves needing to be efficient with their energy. So knowing when to rest means not just relaxing and doing nothing, but also knowing when to do something and when not to do something, because you don't want to use up energy that you could have used on something more important 2 seconds later, but you use up all your energy. See, wolves cannot afford to chase after and try to kill every possible prey they see. And if you ever watch a National Geographic show of lions, for example, when they're hunting a large herd of prey, they are selective about which animal in that group that they're going to try to kill. They don't just say, well, let's just jump in there and see if we can catch something by luck. They don't do that. What they do is look for maybe the sick. They look for anyone who is strayed from the group. They look for the young, and that's the one that they try to catch. All right, so they're being efficient with their energy here, because their energy, again, is not unlimited in that moment to eat, because they only have that window in which they can eat, because this is when all the animals are running around. And if they don't take advantage of that moment and pick the right prey, they will watch all that possible food run right past them and nobody gets to eat. So the lions are very selective about which ones they attack. Again, the young ones, the injured ones, the old ones, one who has strayed away from the group. The reason they do that is because those ones are easier to catch. Lions go after the very old, the very young, the injured, the sick, and the ones who are not protected by the group, because they are easier to catch and easier to kill. All right, lions do not have the luxury of missing out on too many hunts before it becomes a dire situation. It's the same thing with a wolf. It needs to be the same thing with you, which means you need to be rationing out your energy based on where does it make the most sense to put this energy, being that I only have a certain amount of energy right now in this moment, and this may be my only window in which I can use this energy. So even though you can replenish the energy, you can't replace the opportunity. So any energy wasted or not used effectively during this window of opportunity means you did not take advantage of the window of opportunity. And in the wild animal kingdom, they can't afford to miss too many opportunities. They got to take advantage of every single thing that happens, because there's no guarantee the next one's going to come. Remember, they don't understand the logic and reason that human beings understand. This is the reason why animals have killer instinct, because they can't play around with something that needs to be killed in order for them to eat, because if they don't kill it, then they die. And if you could give yourself this type of mindset, I guarantee you get a lot more things done. Lions do not have the luxury on missing out on hunts, again, before it becomes a dire situation. So this does not mean go after everything just because it's available. It means going after the right things with perfect efficiency. And this is the same thing that the wolves do, the same thing that the lions do, same thing you're going to do. In the human world, one form of this is what we call the 80-20 principle, which you are familiar with. And it states 80% of your results come from 20% of your inputs. So the question to help you narrow down this 80-20 is, how much energy are you putting into your 80 stuff that's not really producing anything, and how much energy are you putting into your 20, the stuff that's producing pretty much everything. If you just simply reallocated your resources and started by reallocating your resources, you probably find a lot more ways to make happen whatever it is that you want to make happen in your life, in your business, in your relationships, if you just focused on what's the 20 that's actually producing a result here. And that result may be something that you don't want. So now you can do less of it or eliminate it or fix it. And if the result is something that you do want, then you can do more of it and amplify it. But the first thing is we got to get clear on where you're resting, where are you chilling, where are you doing something, where are you doing nothing. Moving on to point number 23. We're talking here today about how to be a wolf. Number 23, avoid complacency. Wolves are not aware of the concept of complacency because this one only can come to those who are able to rationalize and reason until stories, basically, they're able to rationalize and reason until situations kind of come at them. In other words, human beings have the ability to tell stories to ourselves. You ever told yourself a story that you knew was some nonsense, but because it allowed you to function and everyone around you accepted it, you just kept running with the story, even though you knew what you told yourself or what you told others was bullshit? All right, this is pretty much how and why it works this way. All right, this only comes to people who are able to rationalize and reason again and tell stories to themselves. Humans only have this ability. Humans own this ability. We have cornered the market on rationalizing and reasoning. A wolf does not get complacent about the fact that it killed a deer or a bison yesterday, and it understands that it still needs to eat today and tomorrow. Humans, on the other hand, can have a great day on Monday and get nothing done on Tuesday through Thursday because you have taken your foot off the gas, your life is not in danger like the wolf's is, and you can afford to be complacent. Many human beings are just coasting by life on complacency. Not because they don't want to be successful. If you ask them, do you want to be successful? They would all say yes. But they allow themselves to grow complacent because they don't have anything pushing them to not be complacent. See, just because you had some success 2 hours ago does not mean you deserve to rest for the next 2 hours. What's happening now has nothing to do with what happened yesterday. You need to clean the residue up after every performance and understand that yesterday's points don't go back on today's scoreboard, whether good or bad. So when you're done playing the game that you played today, eventually someone turns off the scoreboard, turn the lights off on the scoreboard, and whatever that score was has been recorded in the books, but it's in the books. And you know what they say about books. You want to hide something from a person, put it in books. Most people are not going to find anything that's hidden in a book. And history is mostly written in books. I'm not going to say on YouTube or on podcasts. There's some people who talk about history on YouTube and podcasts, and they actually have some useful stuff. There's other people who are telling you some propagandized version of what they want you to believe. But understanding the points from yesterday's game don't go on today's scoreboard. Simple as that. Whether you lost yesterday's game or you won yesterday's game, that game is over and it's time to move on to the next thing. So this 23rd point is avoiding the complacency of whatever happened in the past. Again, especially if something that happened in the past was a great thing for you. Point number 24. Today's topic, once again, is how to be a wolf in life. Number 24, exercise ruthlessness. Exercise ruthlessness. Ruthlessness is the quality of lacking pity or compassion for others. Wolves do not have pity or compassion for others. I'm not saying you need to be like this all your life, the way that most wolves are. I'm saying that in a moment of execution, like when you need to close a deal, you need to defeat an opponent, or you need to get done what needs to be gotten done, you need to put all your pity, compassion, empathy, and trying to be a good personness, put all that to the side and get the damn job done. That is your responsibility. Put all of that stuff to the side and get the damn job done. This does not need to be explained to a wolf. I would not have to explain to a wolf, hey, I don't care if it's cold outside or you're tired or you just missed your last hunt. You need to go catch that one and kill it and eat it. I don't need to explain it to a wolf because it already gets it. It's already ingrained in a wolf's brain to go and do what the human wants them to do. And understand that when they come back with what they got, it must always be explained and re-emphasized to a human the way it doesn't have to be re-emphasized and re-explained to a wolf. Once the wolf has the training, you don't have to keep telling it the same things. Humans, you do, because humans tend to march to the beat of their own drummer. Even when they're following a process, they may shortchange the process a little bit, just taking shortcuts. And that's why you got to catch them. You got to be on top. And you got to be ruthless about catching the nonsense and calling it out. So again, you don't have to explain this stuff to a wolf. It must always be explained and re-emphasized to a human being. Most successful professionals in any line of work have a ruthless killer instinct for finishing jobs and getting them done, again, by any means necessary. Ruthless about finishing jobs and getting them done. Now, understand, let me back up to where I was. So ruthless killer instinct, finishing jobs, getting them done, as I said, by any means necessary. Now, although some of them may be willing to talk about this and wear it on their sleeves, and I say them, I mean the people who go out there and get things done. Many people do this with a smile on their face. Many people go out and exercise ruthless with a smile on their faces. Just because someone's smiling does not mean that they're being nice. Can we agree? People are still trained and conditioned to go for and get the kill. And you want to be one of those people who is conditioned to go for and get the kill. Again, you're not trying to be nice. You're just exercising what needs to be exercised so that the job can be gotten done. So with that said, let's recap today's class, which is moving into part number 8 of our ongoing series on how to be a wolf. Number 22, knowing when to rest. We talked about guarding your energy earlier in the series, and this is all about guarding your energy, meaning knowing when to go after something and when to let it go. You don't always have to chase after everything that is put in front of you. It doesn't make sense to do so because not everything is worth it, and you got to save your energy for when it will produce the highest level return on investment. Number 23, avoiding complacency. Wolves are not aware of the concept of complacency, but humans are very aware of it. We get very complacent at times, especially when we've already had a success. Maybe recently, we tend to take our feet off the gas. Number 24, exercising ruthlessness. The quality of lacking pity or compassion for others. Wolves, again, don't need to be preached to about this. It is ingrained in them. And if a wolf is not ruthless and a wolf ends up dying, a human, on the other hand, can go through their whole life with no ruthlessness and still have a relatively safe from danger life, but doesn't guarantee it. But human beings, you got to exercise ruthlessness. That means the quality of lacking pity or compassion for others. And I'm not saying you have to be like that all the time. What I'm saying is when it's time to execute, you need to focus on what actually executes and gets the job done rather than what is going to make you a nice and friendly and acceptable person. You're not focused on being nice. You're focused on getting the job done, which means closing the deal, making the money, landing the sale, winning the game, whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. You focus on that to the exclusion of everything else. That's what ruthlessness means. All that said, tomorrow we will get into the penultimate episode of this mini series on how to be a wolf. Make sure you go to workonyourgameuniversity.com because you already know you want to take the game to the next level. You already know you want to have me as your coach. You already know that that is a place where it's going to happen. Workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all.